Fed Chair Jerome Powell takes a hot seat on Capitol Hill amid continuing criticism from President Trump. One America's Rion spoke to economist Stephen Moore about Powell's two-day testimony and has details on that from Washington.
Stephen Moore, senior fellow at Heritage and Trump campaign economic advisor, gave One America News a rundown of Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's two-day congressional testimony, saying overall it's good news.
So the big story of this testimony is that Chairman Powell hinted very strongly that he will lower interest rates and get more dollar liquidity into the economy in their meeting later this month. And that's a positive thing. I've been saying that for months and months.
With Chairman Powell indicating the Reserve would cut interest rates, market reaction has been positive.
The stock market, since he made that announcement, has been on a nice tear. And by the way, we are now up 50% in the stock market since the day Donald Trump was elected president. So that's about a $10 trillion increase in wealth for all the shareholders in America.
Moore has spearheaded calls to cut the interest rates in a healthy economy, long accusing the Federal Reserve of clinging to an outdated economic belief, one that says growth causes inflation.
I know that Donald Trump doesn't believe that. I've never believed it. I've talked to him a lot about this over the years. We believe that when you've got a growing economy, you actually need to put more money into the economy because it needs to continue to grow. And when you produce more goods and services, as we're doing, that doesn't raise prices, that lowers them.
Historically, cutting interest rates was a bad sign that the economy needed an extra push from the central bank to encourage spending. Chairman Powell stated a slowing economy as one reason for the cut, and that there was no evidence we were in a hot jobs market.
I was a little confused by that statement because this is the best labor market in 50 years for workers. I mean, we have 7.5 million surplus jobs in America today. That gives workers a lot of bargaining power because they've got room to move to other businesses if they don't like their current employer. By the way, this was by design when we put the economic plan together for President Trump.
Chairman Powell also expressed economic insecurity arising from a trade war with China. But Moore says this is a concern out of the hands of the Federal Reserve and should be left to the president and Beijing. Meanwhile, Americans are witnessing historic wage growth under the Trump economic plan Moore helped to draft.
We wanted to create a tight labor market so that middle-class workers could get a raise, and you would see companies like Target and Walmart and Walgreens and FedEx and major retailers raising their wages, and that's what you want to see. We want higher wages for all Americans. I just don't want the government telling businesses what wages they have to set.
The Federal Reserve is set to announce its interest rates end of July. Moore says with the expected interest rate cuts and with growth outrunning already very low inflation rates, this track record is set to continue on a prosperous path and testifies to the Trump administration's successful ability to defy decades worth of outdated habits in our economy. Rion, One America News, Washington.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.